Hey guys, Jason Lee here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to build a network marketing downline. And this is something that tends to frustrate a lot of people for a number of reasons. The first of which might be the roadblock of lead generation and simply getting somebody into your business. But a lot of times, once we get past that barrier, the biggest barrier that comes into play after that is getting your team to duplicate, getting them to do something, or even getting them to talk to their warm market, which in many cases is very difficult to do. And so we're going to kind of go into that here over the next couple minutes and talk about these things in a little more depth. And so I want you to understand first and foremost, though, that you have to train your people. That is the most important thing when it comes to building your network marketing business, is training your people. And I will beat that war drum over and over and over again. If you watch me for any length of time, you will know that I'm a huge pro advocate of training. And there are a lot of people that build their businesses differently out there in the industry. So just be careful that when you're picking a team, if you haven't yet already, you understand the kind of dynamic you're getting into when you choose a team after you've found a company, because the way they may be building their business might not align with the way you want to do business. So understand that. There's a variety of ways to build teams out there, and we only focus on one, and that's the concept of, down here you'll see number 5, NMLB, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. So the first I want to talk about is mastery. Mastery of the fundamentals is going to be key in your ability to not only get people into your business, but teach your new people how to do it right so that they can get people into their business. And that's what's called second generation. So when you teach your new people and they're able to bring somebody in and teach that person to find somebody else, now you've successfully created duplication in your organization. And the only way I'm telling you right now that will ever happen is if either A, you find a leader that's already proven, knows what they're doing, and they're going to do it with or without you. They're going to go out there and build it with or without you. And they don't even need training, right? Because they can do it. And what you'll see a lot of times, sometimes here, I left my marker over here, let me find it for a second. What you'll see sometimes is, and there's a lot of videos on this out there and whatnot, is you'll see people teaching, okay, here's you, right? And you go out here and you're building 2 legs. Like say it's a binary plan, and I start over here and I sponsor Tom, okay? My job is to tap into Tom's warm market and find somebody he knows, like Julie, okay? And then I'm going to tap into Julie's warm market, find Cindy, and then tap into Cindy's warm market and find Jack, and tap into Jack's warm market and find person X, whose warm market I find Y, and whose warm market I find Z. And you'll see people teaching out there, and maybe it goes even further down, a couple more. And you'll see people teach out there that, hey, somewhere in this area, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever, you're going to find a leader, and that leader, like say it's person X, is going to go out and they're going to sponsor 10,000 people, right? They're going to innovate, they're going to figure it out, they're going to come up with some new fandangled way, or they're just going to pump and grind it, and they're going to build 10,000 people. Boom, that leg's locked in. You're done. The problem with that is Tom, Julie, Cindy, and Jack all came in hoping you would help them. And if all you did was tap into their warm market and show them how to tap into warm markets and not provide them any kind of training or help or support to build their businesses, then guess what? You just killed them. You left them behind. They quit. They go out. They badmouth the industry. They tell 20 of their friends about how lame this industry is and what a scam it is and what a pyramid deal it is and how they came in. They were told they were going to get rich and everything. And you just went out and you just crushed their dreams because you skipped right over them, tapped into their warm market, found a leader, good for you, made a bunch of money off that leg, and now you have people that you left behind that are soured, to this industry. Well, that's just the wrong thing to do, okay? My personal opinion is when you sponsor someone, you owe it to them to at least train them in the mastery of the fundamentals so that if they decide to do the work, if they decide to put in the work, Tom can go out and build a business of 10,000 people. And the only way that's going to happen is if they master the fundamentals. And the only way they're going to master the fundamentals is if you master the fundamentals and you master the skill of training. So number 1 and 2 here are mastering the fundamentals and mastering the skill of training. And then teaching Tom, taking your skill of training and teaching Tom the fundamentals in your initial training program. And I have seen training programs out there, by the way, that their first lesson, their first course is how to build a lead capture page. Do you think that is a thing you should be teaching your people first, is how to build a lead capture page? How are your people ever going to train a new lead and get a new lead to duplicate if they don't even have a mastery of the fundamentals? So if you have a training program or you come across a training program and you haven't decided yet to partner with one, be on the lookout for that, because you need these 2 things first before you think of anything else. If you look at a well-rounded training program, lead capture, blogging, SEO, all those things are great, but they're what's called advanced skills. So once you master all the initial skills that are required for you to perform your job as a network marketing professional, then you can start thinking about building lead capture pages, blogging, and things like that. Because you need these first, okay, before all that other stuff comes. And then 3 is learning lead generation. It's not in the article. I didn't write it in the article on purpose because this article is not about generating leads. It's about building a downline. But you do have to learn how to generate leads. There's no way around that. You cannot, I've never seen a person build this business, with one exception in my 8 years or whatever I've been in this business. I've never seen a person build a business, huge business, by just using their warm market. It just doesn't happen. You have to go outside your warm market. You have to find a way to tap into the cold market, and there you will find your victory. There's where you pay your price. That is what will allow you to build a business in this industry. That it's just that simple. There's nothing else to it. So leads, mastery of the fundamentals, training, learn the skill of training, generating leads, online, offline, however you're going to do it. Number 4 is taprooting. We kind of talked about this a little bit. Taprooting, also commonly referred to as leapfrogging, is what I just showed you here. Working a warm market and leapfrogging over them. And there's several ways that's taught out there. Some people teach, hey, let's pick up the phone together and call people you know and whatnot. Other people teach, hey, here's a contact list, write down names and phone numbers on that contact list. We kind of do that, and we teach people how to sort their list and things like that. One thing that's very, very effective that I highly recommend you do is use some effective copy and come up with an email template that you can give to your new guy, and you can say, look, who do you know in this in your sphere of influence that would be great at this business? Who can you think of off the top of your head? Okay, great. I want you to get their email addresses. I'm going to forward you an email template that will expose this business to them, and it will have my contact information. If they decide they want to do it, they can contact me. I always ask people how they found out about me, where they came from, that sort of thing. I will put them underneath you. They will be in your organization. I will train them until you're ready to train your people. And that is how you tap into a warm market, using a very, very non-invasive sort of method through email. And it's very powerful. People aren't scared to click the send button as much as they are to pick up the phone and try to work a script on their warm market, which in many cases is very, very difficult. So try the email approach. See if it works for you. It works for us great. And it will allow you to do this taprooting that we talked about. And you would just do the same thing with the next person. So if you had Tom send out 10 emails to his warm market, 3 of them responded. Julie was one of those people. She watched the presentation, which would have been in one of the links in the email. She gets a hold of you and says, I want to do this. You sign her up. You do the same thing with her. So you can still taproot in the warm market using email to do so. There's plenty of ways to do it. That's just our preferred method because it's the least invasive, the least threatening. People are loaded with fear, loaded with doubt, and it's just something that will help you reach that warm market a little bit more effectively, in my opinion. But to each their own. If you have your own method that works better, great. Share it below. Help people out. We're all in this together in this industry. Number 5, NMLB. This is what I was talking about before. NMLB. No man or woman, I guess, left behind. So if you come in and you skip Tom, skip Julie, skip Cindy, and you're driving that warm market, and then you find the leader X down here, and you leave Tom, Julie, Cindy, and Jack behind, you've left them dead in the battlefield. So don't leave a single man behind. Go give Tom his training. Book those training sessions for Julie, Tom, Cindy, Jack. Train them to master the fundamentals. Train them to master training. The way that would look is you would tell them, here's how we're going to do things. Say it's inviting. We're going to teach you the skill of inviting. The way that works with any skill with training is I'm going to teach you what we're going to do, then I'm going to demonstrate it, and then you're going to demonstrate it. I'm going to give you coaching, and then you're going to demonstrate it, and you're going to coach yourself. And we're going to keep doing that until you've mastered that skill. And that's how you train a skill. You would do the same thing with training. So if you're training your new people on training, you're going to have them say your process is teaching them qualifying, inviting, enrolling, and all that stuff. You're going to say, look, next week on our training session or tomorrow on our training session, I want you to train me on the skill of inviting, and I want you to train me on using our software to goal set, because we have software where we help people set goals to hit financial benchmarks 12 months down the road, that sort of thing. So you train me on those 3 things, and then we will go through that. I'll make sure that you know how to train me, and until you're ready to train people on your own, I'll keep training your people as you bring them in. So that's what you do. You set up training sessions. You don't leave anybody behind here. NMLB, train all these people you brought in. Even if you find a leader down in depth, don't leave them behind. Please, for goodness sakes, don't leave them behind. And then number 6, create a sticky organization. So how do you create stickiness or cohesiveness in your organization? It's very simple. You create environments for them to flourish in. Just like a garden, when you plant certain plants together, right? They grow and flourish. And you don't want to mix the bad ones together, the weeds with the flowers and and whatnot. So you're going to have weeds in your garden, right, in your organization that you don't want to mix with other parts of your organization. We use Google Hangouts. It works very, very effectively. And you can put people together in Hangouts and create little mini mastermind groups that allow them to flourish because they have similar values, similar beliefs, similar ways that they want to build their business. And it'll become very effective and sticky when you start creating those groups. You can do it on Facebook too. You can do it in a number of different places. We just prefer Google Hangouts because you can do webinars there as well and that sort of thing. So there's the 6 steps for helping you to build your downline. Hope that was very helpful for you. Comment below. Make sure you visit us on our podcast. We have a podcast called Unleashing the Alpha Networker. If you didn't already know about it, there's a link above in the nav menu. It's free on iTunes. Give us a comment or a like on there, a 5-star review. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Take care.